Banquet for Fools is not for fools, so don't let this game make you feel like a fool, which is why watching this Fool's Starter Guide might be of great help to get a much better start. Alright, you foolish bastards? I'll focus on basics here because I don't have enough knowledge yet to provide advanced info, but that's coming soon too. Let's see how this guide does first. Let's start with the character creation. I would suggest sticking with the archetypes. In the bottom right corner there is an archetype button. Click it and then choose whichever type you want. I went with 1 frontliner and 3 backliners, and that works great for me at this point in the game, but I'm early on still. There's a nice bit of description for each archetype, so I would suggest to stick with these setups before trying to build your own characters. Now to explain the skill leveling system. It's simple, but incredibly confusing at first, at least it was for me. It's based around skill usage. There are percentages in each skill used before leveling up. Percentages go up to 100%. So it can be one skill, like in this case, that has 100% usage, because I've only used that skill before the level up. In another case, I've used 3 skills, which are Longsword, Large Shield and Stone Wood Armor. So 100% is then divided amongst those 3 skills. Each skill has percentage based on the amount of time used. Combat skills get percentages at the slowest rate. Let's see what happens when I level up in case of the archer who has 100% in bow. Each level up 3 skills can be chosen, and if we haven't used more than 1 skill, then 3 starting skills get the boost. Boost means that upgrade is going to increase the skill by more than just +1. In the case of this archer, intercessions and barter skill are gonna get more than just +1, because those were the starting skills next to the bow skill, which is why their number is already much higher than most other skills. Here's another example. This character used elixirs and flute skills only. These are 2 out of 3 starting skills. Another starting skill that the bastard hasn't used at all before the level up is forest. So now when I level up and go through all the skills, you can see that every skill aside from elixirs, flute and forest only levels 1 point. Forest gets more points than 1 because it's a starting skill, even though it hasn't been used. What about other low-level skills? Game uses a brilliant system of substantially boosting low-level skills if they are used and if they are below 60. With the character with Longsword, Large Shield and Stonewood Armor starting skills, I've used Unarmed skill a lot next to the starting skills before the level up. So now when I'm leveling up, Unarmed is substantially boosted, because it's been used a lot and because it's below 60. How much the boost is depends on the percentage amount of the skill used. Now let's talk about techniques. I was confused that when I started the game properly after the tutorial, I couldn't use any of the techniques. I couldn't even use dodge, so I was quite confused as to why. Then I clicked on the technique skill tree, which is when I found out that I was an idiot, because I should have clicked on it much sooner since all the techniques are on that skill tree. This is where we choose 3 starting techniques and then level the skill tree however we want to unlock more techniques and technique upgrades. Banquet for Fools features a spell crafting system. It's pretty easy to use, but I was confused as to where to get the bloody minerals. And then I figured out that I have mortar and pestle in my inventory, or however that's pronounced, and that I simply have to click on that and then click on one of the gems in order to create minerals from the gems. By the way, if you don't know where to craft the spells, simply go outside of the starting barracks and talk to the tree. Big thing in this game is that there's no journal. Instead, we have to really pay attention to what is being said. Thankfully, we can write as many notes as we want. So whenever you are dealing with someone that gave you a quest, remember the details and then write them down. Don't leave it because you're going to forget. One of the most important things that we need to do every time we venture outside of the fort is to get supplies. By supplies I mean two most important things. Blankets, because we can use blankets to rest in the wilderness and to heal up. Second thing is ammunition, if you're using ranged characters. In my team there are 3 ranged characters, so they go through ammunition fast. I would suggest purchasing 2 stacks of ammunition for each character that uses ranged weapon. Resting can be also done by visiting barracks if they are in the region, and also the innkeeper. At the starting location speak to the Seraphim quartermaster and there you can rest. Or if you want, go to the nearby inn, which is close to the barracks, and there you can rest as well. In the second region, the Rosafin region, I couldn't find anywhere where we can rest, but maybe that's unlocked later after some quests have been progressed. In the game there's plenty of locked chests, so I would suggest having someone in the party like a rogue that can lockpick and sneak. At the very first barracks there's a bunch of locked chests, so go into sneaking and then lockpick the chests. There's a bunch of items and emeralds in the chests in the barracks. Use the same method in every location. Another thing that confused me is how the songs work, basically how the bard works. Songs do not use spirit, same way as the spells do. Instead, check the song and there is a requirement for the song to trigger. Songs trigger automatically after the requirement has been met. Another thing that I figured out is how to use stunning instead of killing to your advantage. This method is fantastic for increasing skills before the level up. There's a limited amount of enemies on the map, so if you stun them, they will get back up after a certain amount of time has passed. I think it's a day or something like that. so we can farm experience and increase skills by stunning the enemies over and over again. Just be careful with the timed quests if you want to use this method over and over again in quick succession. I would advise clearing enemies on the main roads, but stunning the others that are on the side. That way we won't run out of enemies and we can always use it to our advantage in terms of farming experience and increasing skills. That would be all for the starter guide. There's probably going to be more guides for this game. Let's see how this video does first, because there's plenty of other games to cover as well, though I would really love to stick with this game since it does require a lot of guides for people to understand all the intricacies that the game offers. If you're interested, in the description there are links to Patreon, Subscribestar and merch. Thanks for watching and see you soon.